As part of the Emerging Technologies for Saudi Arabia podcast series, today we have two eminent persons addressing the emerging technologies for telecommunication enterprise apps. One hand, we have telecommunications as an enabler for digital transformation for all other sectors. Hence, we have STC, a telecom provider, to speak on this. And on the other hand, telecom operators themselves need to have some form of digital transformation in order to stay ahead of competition and provide robust and reliable services even during a crisis situation. And for this, we have Oracle, a solution provider, to speak on this. And to bring the best conversation between the two, we have the moderator, Hassan Al-Haji, the co-founder and director of automation and digital transformation, a former digital transformation leader of Saudi Aramco.
So telecom generally, and Saudi Arabia is no exception, as an industry has been facing a trend in the last few years, mainly resulting in erosion of margins, reduction in ARPU, average revenue per user, which is stemming mainly from the competition that they are facing from the internet players. To give an example, the top 25 global telecom operators' share of the profit dropped from 74% to 40% over the last 6 years, compared to the top 8 internet companies whose share of the profits increased actually from 26 to 60%. So whatever the telecom operators have lost, the internet players have gained. And this, of course, is causing a lot of pressure on the telecom operators. And as you, I don't want to say ironically, but as you speak about telecoms as an enabler for digital transformation for all other sectors, telecom operators themselves need to have some form of digital transformation in order to, leapfrog from the legacy and be able for them to be actually competitive in the market and capture more of the business or the value that, internet players, and what I mean by internet players is the likes of Amazon, Google, and Netflix and the likes. So,
what do you think, Mohamed? That's putting you into a double sword challenge, I guess.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Hassan, and thank you, Hadi. Thank you for having me here. I would like to start to respond to the point that's been raised in the previous question. You are 100% right. We are enabling our customers, and we're enabling the country to transform, while we, in the same time, we are looking in a way on how we transform ourselves and how we are transforming our business. And as a telecom company, actually, we are doing it in a both ways. We are introducing a new technologies for our customers, so they be able to connect faster, connect easier, such as 5G connectivity, where we established it a few years ago in Saudi, and we are leading actually in the adoption of 5Gs. So, as you know, introducing such technology will transform the market of Saudi Arabia, and how companies can transform their application, how they can use new tools and new technologies to enhance their operation, such like IoT use cases, edge computing use cases. So 5G will introduce the ability to do faster communication, which again, as I said, will enhance the customer, the product that our customer using. For example, like IoT devices can communicate faster and they can process the data within milliseconds, rather than previously passive IoT devices that only send notification or send logs to the main platform. On the other hand, how we transform ourselves to meet the competition and the changing dynamics of the market. As you know, telco are huge companies that's dealing with a lot of number of customers. So dealing with those elements, putting, as I said, a lot of pressure on us. Competition from internet provider, customer experience, getting customer demands, getting higher and higher. So this puts a pressure on us to introduce a new way of doing things. RPA, robotic process automation. This is RPA. We are using it. We start adopting it in our supplier invoices. Now we are testing it in our systems on error recognition, customer facing. So all of this are under development, and we will start seeing it soon. That a lot of tools that serving our customer using AI technologies. On the other hand, we are providing the AI capabilities and the AI infrastructure for our customers, so they can even try their use cases.
If you can tell me, like, in your opinion, what are the emerging, technologies that are linked to the current transformation in telecommunications?
Look, I mean, generally, telecom operators are doing mainly three key things in order to be able to transform and cope with the challenges we discussed. The first one is, and I think Mohamed touched on them pretty much. The first one is to do internal efficiencies and cost cutting in different areas, like asset management. Telecoms have a huge number of assets scattered across thousands and thousands of sites. Trying to do better and more profitability analysis. Cloud transformation is something key now, also with the edge computing that is coming around. All of these are fitting into the cost-cutting, efficient, and internal efficiencies category. Number two is the customer experience. Of course, the expectation from customers dealing with the likes of Amazon and Netflix and Google is a more seamless experience when it comes to activating and provisioning services, as well as support and customer service, which is something that all telecoms alike are investing a lot in order to improve that experience for the customers. And the third thing is to move into adjacent services and bring revenues from adjacent services, be it B2B, B2C, or even B2G to the government, enabled by the 5G rollout that is starting to happen. We're starting to see things related, for example, to TV and media for consumers, ICT services like cloud offering security, managed services, and verticalized solutions, for example, in healthcare, in fleet management, or education. So these three things are what telecom operators are focusing on doing. And if you, link these three together, they're all enabled by digital emerging technologies that are required to do. And when you talk about adjacent services, they are all enabled by emerging technologies, be it cloud, be it blockchain, be it IoT. So, thinking about how the transformation and the opportunity for improving and restoring growth for the telecom operators, they are all, enabled or founded on having the digital transformation using those emerging technologies.
Did Saudi ICT ecosystem overcome this challenge? I would say some of those challenges, not all of them, I will emphasize on that. For example, for readiness of ICT infrastructure, as you know, that Saudi country as a country is very advanced in the technology, and it's one of the top countries in terms of technology adoption. We are not an early adopter of any new technology, but we are for example, we are one of the top countries. In terms of ICT infrastructure readiness, we have a good ICT infrastructure. We have a huge investments on ICT infrastructure across all the country, not in STC or telecom companies only, even in any other IT organization or any organization that's using IT. Cybersecurity challenges, as you know, as more people start using digital channels and digital tools and applications, so the cybersecurity threats will grow. The most important is the first line of defense is the IT, the people ourselves, is how we increase the awareness of how to protect ourselves and how to ensure that we protect our data. Then, on the other level, the understanding of putting the right security measures and right security controls to protect your systems. Also, as you know, Saudi is one of the top targeted country. On the same side, we are one of the top countries in the cybersecurity industry. So this is putting, even if we are very advanced in the cybersecurity, always you will get a new attacks, new ways of doing attacks. You will find it different, even if you are protecting against some of the attacks. Suddenly you'll find a new bugs or new ransomware. So continuous protection and continuous enhancement of cybersecurity is a must. Community adoption and customer experience, I would split those two things. Community adoption, if I'm talking about the IT community or the technical community like ourselves, I see it here in Saudi, not that mature. The IT industry people or experts, they don't have a community and they don't have ongoing like a huge community like what we see it in other countries. So for such thing, I think we need to put a lot of efforts to put a community for example, for developers, for AI, the community for AI, community for data scientists, where people, they can come together, they put ideas and they put it to execution. For the fourth point, the poor coordination between network operator, cloud service provider, I don't see it. There is a poor coordination in this area. While I see it, there is a poor coordination between cloud service and application developers, because we are as cloud providers, we rely on network. So the first important components we put in our services is the network. So we rely heavily on the network. So we have a very good partnership, and any cloud provider that you would establish cloud services, definitely he will first need a strong network operator or service provider. But again, there is a gap between the cloud provider and the application developers, where as a cloud provider, we don't see that the tools that we develop as a local cloud provider, we don't see it. We don't see high demand from application developers. While most application developers, they used to rely or used to use the tools that provided by other cloud providers like Azure, like AWS, because of those tools highly used, because there is a strong community behind those tools. So again, this goes back to the community adoption. If we have a strong community adoption, especially for developers, this will create a clear list, a wish list for them, so we can work on it to ensure that we have a good partnership with them.
Excellent.
So I hope I answered this question. The second thing regarding the pressure, the point that you had, Mr. Hassan, the pressure that the pandemic put on us as a cloud provider and service provider. As you know, when the pandemic started, the first 2 months, a lot of companies, they stopped completely, or they didn't do anything completely. The only company that survived the first period of the lockdown, the company who were digitally ready. Digitally, they have the right tools, they have the right procedure and process to work from outside the office. And once the pandemic happened, this have put in a lot of pressure on the company that was not digitally ready. So they start seeking the support of cloud provider, because as you know, cloud provider, they have ready infrastructure, ready tools and ready application where the customer they can start using from day one. This is putting a lot of pressure on us, a lot of pressure on the capacity that we are providing to our customer, putting a lot of pressure on the supply chain, our supply chain. and we have we have grown triple digits in the cloud services, and it was really high. It's been high pressure on us, but alhamdulillah, we'll be able to meet that pressure with the support with our suppliers and vendors.
So how do you see the future coming for the emerging technologies for the telecommunication companies from your perspective, Hadi? And I'll come back to you, Mohamed, for the same question. Go ahead.
Thank you, Hassan. So basically, I mean, we're seeing emerging technology use cases introduced in everything we do. So as you know, for example, Oracle is a provider of ERP technology and applications and solutions, which is the Fusion, and it's a cloud application. One of the things I want to comment on the acceleration of the adoption of technologies because of the pandemic, not related specifically to Oracle, but some of the statistics, they talk about 24 times acceleration of the adoption of cloud technologies among other, digital transformation initiatives because of the pandemic. And something that was expected, for example, to last 500 days, it ended up lasting 20 days because of the pandemic. And we've seen this with for example, the remote working. We all jumped into the Zoom and the other collaboration video conferencing tools in a very short period of time, and the IT departments managed to scale up, and the cloud providers managed to scale up really quick. So going back to the future and what we see, so AI/ML is getting into everywhere, right? So today you have your Siri, you have your Alexa, you have your Google. This is coming into your business applications as well. So today Oracle's Fusion applications has built-in digital assistant and chatbots, which can help you with all your self-service, for example, for HR, self-procurement, self-service procurement, things like expenses reporting. All of that is now available through a technology like chatbots or digital assistant solutions. If you look at demand prediction, for example, from a telecom perspective, you talk about devices, handsets, SIMs, looking at trying to predict the utilization or the consumption of these devices and inventory would help you very much reduce your cash put in those in that inventory, and by getting the right amount of supply at the right time. So all of these cases, I'm talking about AI/ML, but also you're talking about IoT, for example, in site maintenance. You talk about drones in site maintenance. All of these are use cases that you can see are leveraging emerging technologies big time, helping telecoms maintain efficiency, open new frontiers and offer new services, and improve the experience of their customers big time. So I think there's no going back. I think the telecom operators who manage to adopt these kind of technologies fastest in a very disruptive manner and show the customers and show all the stakeholders the change that is happening quick enough are the telecom operators who will be reaping the value and capturing the biggest value from the market.
It's been very interesting discussion and very valuable information and experience, Mohamed and Hadi, you put on the table. Hadi Hazim, thank you so much for your participation and valuable information. Mohamed Balobaid, thank you so much for your insights and a lot of good information.